Okay. What's going on, everyone? This is emperorzk, and look, it's been a tough day and a half out here, especially with the bug from Hector that really destroyed us. But I do know for a fact now that he has now been patched in the 1.15 patch. So guys, if you still haven't updated your Pocket Bravery, make sure to go so and do it right now. I know someone in the comment before did ask me, has this been fixed, or how do we fix this? Well, it has already been addressed, so I've yet to play just yet because I do need to do a Daisuke rerun for the hard arcade playthrough in order to complete my full set. But the character tier list was actually promised first, and the reason that this video might come out a tiny little bit more later than what I have actually got into is because I had to make it myself. So I had to do a fresh one because when I went to the tier list, there wasn't any new ones. So I made one from scratch. So if anyone else want to make it, it's actually there on tiermaker.com. So yeah, just check out Pocket Bravery and let's do this. So let's begin with this tier. We got S, obviously, for the best ones out there. There's A, B, C, D, that's not very viable, and there's trash that just you shouldn't ever attempt. If you did attempt, then good luck. You're going to be investing 10 times the amount of time in order to get good and to stay competitive with the rest of the characters up here. Okay, so let's begin. The first one, Lord Ashevan. Now, I've versed Lord Ashevan pretty much a lot, and he has been the one to drive me nuts here and there. So I'm gonna say, for a very competent Ashevan player that knows the cast and knows everything, especially when getting the full tag and everything, I will say he's around the A to the B tier. So at this second, I'm gonna put that onto the A. And to support this, let me just quickly also get into a few things as well. Yeah, there's a few things that comes to mind. Here we go. Right. Ashevan is very good when it comes down to playing. He is, let me mute this as well. He hits really hard. His armor is really good. Every time I seem to verse him, I seem to be drawing the bottom end of this one, especially when it comes down to this little grab here. That's a 2 here. And of course, if you do know someone is going to be throwing the low, you can do that. And his big arm up there, it's too good. It's too good. And of course, you gotta love just the way he runs at you. When he runs at you, you have nothing else to say. You just have to block, right? Obviously, for the ones in the know, you can use this to contest because of the armor. And of course, as you can see, where I'm just playing counter right here, that is actually decent damage. I can go back and forth and scale through. Daisuke over here doesn't really have too much of an option. They have to come up and get a few more things through. He's got good reach, so Ashevan, okay. Now let's go to Nuno. I will say Nuno is like a blend between really good and normal. Right, I would say really good is because he's very easy to pick up, very easy to play. I would say his power is good, his mixes are okay, but his reach can be questionable, right? Obviously, he's got good longs and stuff, and it feels he's good. But I'm gonna chalk it up to everyone knows how to play fighting games, and everyone knows how to play Shoto. Everyone knows how to excite themselves to the KOF style. So Nuno, for me, it's roughly around B. Because if he was a pick between Ashevan or Nuno, yeah, I'll probably have Ashevan here, because Ashevan will pretty much dominate that kind of a tier, especially when it comes down to knowing your game. So to support this one, let's quickly get into where is my stuff. Yeah, all right. So here's Nuno. Getting myself chopped because Daisuke has mad reach. And of course, you see the light jab yourself, right? The light jab yourself, I know it's light and the reach isn't as well as you would have liked. But when it comes down to knowing all this, you rely on your speed, rely on everything else, and knowing what you need to do. He can get really aggressive, but most of the time when you use Uno, just right there, right? Those little, 4 different kind of hits, while they look stylish, I'm not sure about it, right? He can obviously have access to a lot of good combos, a lot of good damage, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's like, how predictable can you get? That's what we have to acknowledge here. Malika. Now, Malika, if you're good at what you're doing and you know how to zone, and you're a freak with your rollback, and if you're playing a land, probably around the B tier here, right? Could be very good zoner, could be everything, but custom combos, trying to pull it off, especially in a fast game or Pocket Bravery, it's trash. Sorry. Malika doesn't have enough tools in a fighting games, I feel like in order to become good, and of course even if you do know what you're doing, Malika, the stuff that you get access to, I feel sorry for people who try to make Malika work. Like, you know, there's characters that's too fast that can rush down and it will trade, and when it does trade with Malika, there's nothing you can do. Your range is just that rough. You know, you have to use Kukuda in order to like time freeze and like go for the time freeze counter. You gotta zone them with reflector. You gotta, you know, do everything you can in order to close. And not all the cars has fireballs to make a run with. So, you know, your shield kind of doesn't mean much in this case. So that's very unfortunate. So yeah, Malika complete trashed here. Now, I know a lot of people have been playing Hadassa, and Hadassa recently being played by Justin Wong as well, just got fully highlighted to see what kind of easy access character with super kind of reach, super punishment, good command grab, and just everything very good about her. It's in the S tier. Like, I can't argue anything about Hadassa, who's got good anti-air, which is a grab to confirm down, which could actually be linked, right? So you can do the up, the anti-air, and then it gets grabbed up, and then you have a normal grab, you have a super grab, and you have your left right taekwondo kick. Like, as a taekwondo practitioner, it makes so much sense, and Hadassa makes my brain melt, right? When I was playing Hadassa, I had so much fun, and Hadassa, oh my god, like, looks amazing. That can actually link with the anti-air. So if you anti-air, right, I found out after a little bit of anti-air in practice, you can actually do so much, and she's fast, right? Because her kicks up into mid or into the little hop, right? That all links. That can link so much, and then your EX, it flows through the same motion. So on your hand, it feels damn good. So for anyone who's looking to just, you know, boss it up, if you have a pocket Hadassa, or if you even don't, you just go and pick up Hadassa. Like, look at that! It is so easy to access this. It's just all down, forward, you know, with a little bit of a forward, down, plus motion. Hadassa, yeah, deserves to be up there. Now, George is good. It's very fun on this. It's everything that you want in a mixed bag of things that could be right or not. But I would say in a scramble when you play fighting games, or when you are actually, you know, trying to do your best at playing this, unfortunately, George falls really short into a lot, so I'm gonna put him into the D tier, right? Only because while he's fast, he gets Yamazaki stuff from KOF, and, you know, he gets, you know, the Leona bomb and stuff, and on the super, he's got a Shoryuken, and the grenade is good and all. It's just that it still feels slow. Like, the setup is too much, and it feels like if you're comparing to even Nuno right here, right? Nuno can whack out so much of your health in one setup that it feels good, it feels free-spirited, it feels really easy to set up. So if you're George and you're trying to get the same amount of damage out after practicing and just going hardcore on the trials, you're not going to be able to have a good time. So yeah, George is right there. And then if you go through, alright, let's go Ming Mei. Now, Ming Mei is an aerial beast. I think Ming Mei is personally very good, but it falls really short. It falls really short, so I'm going to put it onto the D tier as well to join George. Why? Is because Ming Mei suffers from this, you know, a little bit of a very light touch character. So say for example, if we consider her the Chun-Li of Pocket Bravery, while she has the tools, some of the norms, she doesn't have all the norms ready to go. If you are familiar with the Street Fighter series, Chun-Li has a lot of norms, a lot of good reach, a lot of areas where she can poke damage and link everything. Ming Mei, that's only possible if you land the aerials and also land consecutive aerials with investments, you know, using your meter and then trying to extend. But then, you know, the damage is still isn't as competent as what you would have liked, and she doesn't have that massive rushdown capability that Hadassa has, which is surprising. You know, I will, you know, want Ming Mei to have the same kind of like rushdown potential as Hadassa. So that is a shame for Ming Mei. Like, don't get me wrong, her air is super good, but like everything else is too much control. Even with your yin yang absorb and, you know, getting that out, I feel like personally that doesn't do her enough justice. So that's Yeah, that's Ming Mei, right? To all the Ming Meis out there, yeah, you're the D tier for me. All right, now let's go to Ndidi. Ndidi for me, as everyone know, if you have been watching my videos, Ndidi is a shocker, right? Ndidi can be considered trash, but the computer uses it like as if it's an S tier. The reason? Hits hard, it links to a super, the combo is crazy, and the rush down, right? It's always about that rush down, getting close in, how much of your anti-air is like viable. I will say if you are someone who knows what you're doing and you're a very seasoned player, Ndidi is probably around A or B tier. The reason that I'm hovering between A or B right now is because Ndidi for me, when I do combo, do rush down, do all that and stuff, he's very hard to build up that kind of the same meter. Once you know how to play Ndidi, you know how to play against Ndidi as well, right? So some of the moves like Gaia and all that, if you use Gaia and someone can see you motion up the Gaia, you actually become really predictable, and that just makes someone want to jump, especially in a game like Bravery. You have super jump, it is a huge little bit of potential. So unfortunately Ndidi goes to the B tier right here. While I think Ndidi is still my super nemesis, belonging in the S tier, I'm looking at it from a very fighting games perspective, that if you do have a pocket Ndidi and someone doesn't know what you're doing with the Ndidi and you are good to go, yeah, this is a very, very good character to surprise people with. So yeah, there's Ndidi. And then if we go to Sebastian here, now Sebastian, to a lot of people that didn't know, he actually had a infinite combo. So him and a few other characters had access to infinites, right? And it's not very surprising at all. But the reason, the recent little bit of nerf and all that obviously took that away, and the reason that he was in such a good place was because he's very good at fast jabbing, he's very good at comboing, his anti-air super, which covers a lot of the distance of the screen, which is also a superb option. But the thing is, he's around the BC tier, right? You're not gonna put him enough on the A tier where people have recognized enough to use his DMC role in order to combo more things, and then to invest meter into a super, obviously do things. Well, he's very good, right? His corner pressure is superb. It's probably like around B or C tier. But if we compare him to Nuno and Ndidi, well, even if he's gonna be hitting Ndidi 1,000 times, Ndidi does 3 combos, and that's pretty much your life, right? Sebastian doing about that many hits, it's probably like the biggest flex that you can do with your fingers. So I'm not sure what I can say about Sebastian. So Sebastian, C tier you go. Now let's talk the final few characters, which is Daisuke, Sho, Hector, Ximena, and Kimberly. Let's talk about Kimberly. While her meter is okay, but she did have a bug, which she obviously got too much of a power gauge when she was doing a few moves. That has been recently removed in patch 1.14 and 1.15. Kimberly's mine, now the mines are good, right? If you have 4 charges, you can do some very weird and funky setup, and you can get away with a lot of good stuff. Do I think she's good enough and competent enough to start rolling people in because of a few things? Yeah, I absolutely think so. I think she's C tier. Why? It's because she has the geese counter, right? She has the counter like that, or the counter to grab. Now, the biggest important thing to acknowledge here is, just like my son laughing in the background, is Kimberly is not the fastest character out there, but when she sets up, she's very fast. And also, a lot of people likes to jab. You will not find a lot of times where people won't be attacking you. They'll be chucking media at you all the time. Now, she has that tool to get this one through, and I think that's very, very good. I think it's also a very fun little bit of character that if you know and you have the knowledge, yep, she can be terrific. But if you don't, then obviously no, because her combos are very specific. Her combos can be linked very well, and some things are left to a Matt scramble. So yeah, that's Kimberly for you. Now let's talk about Sho. Right, the cross character coming from here, I think Sho has so much potential out of all this list right here. He is on the A. Why is he on the A? Well, let's say Sho when it comes to balancing, he's okay. He doesn't really have too much, but his air super fireball, that's a great move. He combos really well. His fire kick special is also very punishable on any lows, and he links up to all his combos. I think the reason is because you have to have the good activation, right? The reason he misses out on S tier is because if he could access his supers and his side switch and all those combos really well, right? But in order to get everything else, you need to have those buttons, you need to have the execution. So Arshivan, Hadassa, their activation is literally the same kind of motion, the same direction. Show, you're gonna have to like switch, especially if you do side switch. You're gonna have to prepare yourself. Sometimes you might bug out and not do the side switch, and your combo might mess up, or you might have an unfortunate drop. That's actually the only reason. And yes, I'm being a little bit of picky right here, but Show, not a lot of people can do a lot of things. So say for example, if you do a counter hit, right, you gotta have enough to go forward. So you spam the double forward and then forward back forward, or do the same motion to obviously one it up and buffer it up, so you can go your the anti-air many punches going. That is good, but yeah, as always, if you were Hadassa and you had the counter, you went in forward. Doesn't matter what you do. Even if you didn't double dash, you could still reach that kind of distance and continue without any effort. Well, you have to go forward and go blah 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 blah. There was characters that actually had to go forward to actually do a back forward charge, right? So people who used to do Guile or Nash combos back in Street Fighter days knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard to do the charge motion, even if he's not. But there are times like characters like Sho who's can do the fall back forward really quickly. But even then, you're prone to make mistakes. You're prone to not want to do some of the moves. And yes, when you do the counter here, you can just go for another one and then just go for it. But what if you wanted to do something else, right? What if you wanted to do a different kind of combo to set yourself up, right? You want to reverse a corner combo, right? That's always a little bit of a situation. Now, we're very close. Let's go to Hector. Hector, it's an absolute scumbag. Absolute scumbag. Out of all these things, like if you're looking at Super Hector from the arcade playthrough, having unlimited meters and stuff, yeah, he's absolutely S tier. But also because he's got some input buffer problems, he's got his stance change, which isn't the greatest function out there when you press down light. In anything, it's just like, have you played enough Marvel, right? If you played enough Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Ultimate Marvel, then you will know that if you had to play with characters like Dante, who had to quickly change a few things, who had to quickly rock cancel, straight things out. Unfortunately, Hector is good, but it's about the B tier, right? The combos are very simple, very easy. They're not that intricate, but they're frustrating to do. Right, if I gave you a Nuno combo, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably be able to do about 70% of Nuno combos. But if I gave you Hector combos, right, you'll probably like be failing halfway, unless you're like gods of doing trials like Justin. But yeah, Hector is a good character. Got many options, got many good stuff. Can cover the distance really quickly. Can be really quick. I will say the recent patch kind of like made me a little bit salty because I couldn't complete my run. So Hector stays right here. But if I were to choose between Hector or Sho or Arshivan, yeah, for Sho and Arshivan, I'll beat out Hector any day. And even on this tier, is barely will I touch Hector. It's not because that I'm shy away from his technical, but it's because while he looks good and he's pretty good, the best thing about Hector, besides his mask and his unmasked combo, is his command grab. He's got a Yori side switch command grab like Zahuea. It's so good. When you are on full meter and you decide to really just KO someone on a combo, a lengthy combo can get you 3 of this and can get you 2 resets onto the combo without trying. Like if you know how to do your super jump and you cross up, yeah, you just link it up with this, it's guaranteed to make the next person just throw away his controller at the wall. That is what a Hector it can be. But if we talk about normal kind of like just getting in, unless you're in your wolf stance and have the options, I would say it's a very difficult thing to put in above B tier. Now let's talk about Ximena. Ximena is not a C tier, it's not a D tier, and it ain't a trash tier. Ximena, holy moly, is between an A and an S, and I'm gonna put her on the S. Why? She's deceptively fast. She's got very good reach, and on top of it, she's got a nice anti-air that has suction as well. So if you think you can super jump on top, she is throwing it up, and yeah, her visuals will catch you, and her visuals on block is good. She's got a capture, which is insane. So that's kind of crazy, but I think Ximena can be an absolute threat. People told me that she was more like the Ken in Street Fighter 2, and I believe them. Right, her super is like a dash into a grab, and then the other one is like a full like chase down dash. It's like a Shoyu Ripper, if you will, with a scythe, which looks badass. She's got a fireball that you can cancel, you know, just in case you're gonna get jumped and punished. And on top of this, she's got more reach that you should really have from the rest of the cast here. Like, she can do so much, and her high can actually move forward, which is what you want, right? So Ken got famous because of the Kara grab, because of the forward medium kick, or even the heavy, right? Ximena is roughly around the same and has plenty of those options. I will say Ximena, if you know how to use a Ken, you go straight to Ximena, and you're gonna feel exactly how much you can invest into her and just how much you can catch people off guard. So yeah, she's absolute S tier. And the last one, which is Daisuke, with the one I haven't been able to finish. Now, I have yet to fully test the bugs out here and there, but I'll tell you right now, Daisuke is S tier. Why it's S tier, you ask? Let me put it like this, right? In my recent run of hard arcade playthrough, Daisuke's his combo like this, like that, that is too good. That is way too good. And to make it worse, this combo, like just that spinning stick, takes half your shield. So if you don't notice that everyone has a shield on the right side, if your shield gets broken, you go into the stun phase and you get opened up, just like what in a guard breaking any fighting game is. And Daisuke can do that very, very well, and I mean so well that he is able to just trash you into the bag, especially if you're stuck in the corner, and you know, a Daisuke player who knows his distance well activates the down back high. You are gonna be just looking at your shield, and you're gonna be like, alright, what am I gonna eat now? Like, I can't really get out, I need a grab, I need a command grab, I need to dash, I need something, right? As soon as you do that, they can access EX or super, or they can do it again to contest and trade with you. And of course, they're anti-air, so they're down and hard punch does the, you know, the chop up. That is also very good reach. I would say he's probably got one of the best reach in the game. Is very fun to play. He's also got the bouncing upward spiral, so he is absolutely S tier. You don't mess with him. And that's it. That is the tier list talk that I want to talk about for quite a while. I'm not sure if this is any help to anyone. I don't know if you all agree with me, but you know, if you have played the game and if you've already, you know, versed a few people or versed some people, or you got really, you know, a lot of good sparring partners, then you know, you probably have more insight to me. But this is just my personal feel after using the whole cast to see what their bread and butter is, what their potential is supposed to be, and how they do play out. Talking about counter matches, we haven't really gotten there, but you know, obviously this is not a list that everyone's gonna agree to, but it is still gonna be pretty fun. And so yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, comment, and sub into this channel. You know, you will really help me out. And of course, if you still haven't followed to anyone else, make sure to also follow onto the Twitch and everything else, as I do come back and pump a lot more content into the scene. If you want to see more of this, make sure to let me know exactly how you feel. To anyone else that would like to use this chart, it is already there on tiermaker.com, and feel free to make your own and tag me into it. But that's gonna be it for me. I will catch you all into the next video. This is emperorzk signing off. Peace.